So imagine this scenario for a second. You've got like a problem, right? Something you really wish wasn't there. But then what if the solution to it, the good part, what if that actually became even better the more you had of the problem? Wouldn't you maybe be tempted to keep the problem going just to maximize the good?
It sounds completely backwards, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A little crazy even.
Exactly. It seems totally illogical. Okay, so let's unpack this because this seemingly counterintuitive idea, it isn't just some, philosophical game. It actually came up in really profound discussions way back when about divine grace and, well, human transformation.
Right.
And the core of it was this. If this divine grace truly just overflows, becomes incredibly abundant precisely when human failing, when wrongdoing increases, then, well, why on earth wouldn't you just keep failing so that grace could just keep getting bigger and better?
It's a twisted kind of logic. You can see how someone might arrive there, but yeah, very human. And what's so fascinating here, I think, is how this discussion, it's not just abstract theology. It dives really deep into the nature of human identity itself, our relationship with doing wrong, and the possibility of, like, radical change.
Yeah, radical is the word.
It's not just about, trying to behave better. It's about a fundamental shift in who you actually are.
Absolutely. And that's what today's deep dive is all about. We're going to unravel the really emphatic, resounding response given to that very question. Because this isn't just about trying harder to be a good person. It's presented as a complete re-identification. And it's illustrated so powerfully with this concept of baptism. We're going to explore what it genuinely means to be dead to sin. Is that something we're supposed to try to do every day? A constant battle, a striving? Or is it something that has already happened to you, a past completed spiritual event?
And that distinction, well, it changes absolutely everything about how you approach living.
Okay, so let's set the stage a bit. This whole conversation starts with this really incredible concept that where human feeling became prevalent, where wrongdoing was just, rampant and maybe even obvious, divine grace became even more abundant.
Right, like it rose to meet the challenge.
Exactly. Now, it's crucial to get this right. It wasn't that rules or laws caused the failing. That's not the idea. It's more like they acted as a spotlight, didn't they? Illuminating the problem, making people really aware of their rebellion, their inability to measure up.
Yeah, exposing it.
Yeah.
Making it undeniable.
But here's the twist, the unexpected part. This overflowing grace, this divine intervention, it isn't meant to lead to, moral chaos, not a free-for-all. Quite the opposite. The claim is it's designed to bring about a life of right action, a life lined up with goodness.
Yeah, if we zoom out a bit, connected to the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Grace isn't about God sort of minimizing the problem of human failing or just looking the other way. No, it's presented as demonstrating immense power over the problem itself.
Power over it, okay.
Yeah. Think of it less like, a blind eye being turned and maybe more like a really powerful surgeon dealing decisively with something dangerous.
Okay, that's a helpful image.
This divine grace, it's not about giving us a pass. It's about a powerful, almost aggressive intervention that transforms us from the inside out. It's designed to change our very nature, fundamentally, rather than just excusing our actions or, worse, giving permission for more.
So it's transformative power, not a license.
Exactly. That's the core distinction.
And that really profound understanding of grace, this idea that it superabounds where failing increases, that leads us right to the provocative question, the heart of our deep dive today. Are we to continue in sin that grace may abound? And you might initially think, who on earth would even ask that?
Right. It seems almost blasphemous on the surface.
Yeah. But apparently this wasn't just some abstract hypothetical. It was a genuine, pressing question for some people back then. They were reasoning, maybe, that if divine forgiveness and favor actually increased when there was more wrongdoing, well, perhaps more wrongdoing could actually be beneficial.
Like a perverse strategy.
Exactly, a perverse spiritual strategy. And this profound misunderstanding of grace, seeing it just as a transactional license for bad behavior instead of a deep transforming power. It's surprisingly common, isn't it? Even today, we still look for loopholes.
Oh, absolutely. It's a persistent human tendency. Think about some of the modern ways the same thinking pops up. Maybe someone thinks, well, I'm forgiven anyway, so my behavior doesn't really matter in the grand scheme.
Right. Or God's forgiveness will cover it, so why fight so hard against this temptation? It's exhausting.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And this really forces us to ask, what kind of transformation is actually supposed to be happening if that's the conclusion someone draws from grace? If grace is just seen as like an external transaction, a legal pardon, but with no internal change.
Then yeah, the question makes a horrible kind of sense.
In a very twisted, self-serving way, it does.
Yeah.
But it completely misses the point of what's being described.
And Paul's response to that question, it's just electric. It's not a gentle nudge.
No, not at all.
He uses this Greek phrase, mogenoito,
Mm-hmm.
and translators struggle with it because it's so strong. It's like, by no means, absolutely not.
Perish the thought.
Yeah, may it never be. It's this expression of just utter revulsion, a visceral recoil from the idea itself. And this leads him straight into what he sees as a logical impossibility. How can those who have died to sin still live in it? He's basically saying it doesn't compute. It just makes no sense. It's like asking someone who's officially dead, buried, gone, to just get up and go back to their old life, pay their taxes, go to work.
It's absurd on its face.
It simply can't happen. The very concept is nonsensical within his framework.
And that analogy of someone legally deceased, it's actually really fitting because saying someone has died to sin, in this context, it truly means a definitive, completed break.
Okay, definitive, completed.
Yeah, it's something that has already happened to you spiritually. It's not presented as a gradual process you're like working towards forever.
Not something I do, but something that was done to me.
Exactly. It signifies a radical, total separation from sin's rule, its dominion over you. Now, it's really critical here to clarify what this doesn't mean, because this is where a lot of confusion comes in.
Right, good point.
It doesn't mean you've suddenly achieved sinless perfection, like you'll never stumble or be tempted again. That's not the claim.
Okay, so it's not about never sinning again.
No.
Okay.
Nor does it magically remove the daily, very real struggle with temptation or the pull of old habits. That battle continues. What it does mean is that the legal power, the authority of sin over you, is fundamentally broken.
Legal power. Okay.
Imagine, like a courtroom scenario. You are under the absolute control of this powerful adversary. Let's call it Sin Incorporated. It had a binding legal claim on your life, a contract saying it owned you. But now, through Christ, the judges declared that contract null and void. You're free. That legal claim, that binding authority, it's shattered.
So the old boss might still yell.
Exactly. The old boss might still yell from across the street. You might still feel its pull sometimes, but its authority over you, its right to dictate your life, gone.
Your fundamental identity has changed.
Yes. Sin's control is shattered. It's now fundamentally foreign to your true nature, like an old disgusting coat you've finally thrown away.
Okay.
So this isn't about achieving flawless behavior right now. It's about a fundamental change in who you belong to, your core identity. Your relationship to sin has been definitively cut.
Okay, so if this death to sin is such a profound spiritual reality, how is it made visible? How does Paul bring it to life?
Well, that's where baptism comes in. He presents it as this powerful living picture of this death and resurrection.
More than just a symbol, then.
Much more. It's described as an outward act that signifies a real deep spiritual transaction, a union. When people are united into Christ, the idea is they're not just united with his teachings or example. They are united into his death.
Into his death. Wow.
The very act of baptism becomes this vivid enacted drama of what has already happened to them on the inside spiritually.
So the burial imagery is key here.
It's hugely important. Think about what a burial means in, ordinary life. It confirms death. It finalizes the separation from the old life. It's the ultimate act of letting go, isn't it?
I know.
In the same way, going down into the water in baptism, it pictures this spiritual burial with Christ. It's a public declaration. It marks the end of the old way of life, the life defined and controlled by sin, and it prepares the way for something completely gloriously new.
And the submersion itself.
The act of submersion, being fully under the water, it perfectly conveys that sense of burial. Going down into a grave-like experience, it solidifies that the old way is truly, definitively gone, done, laid to rest.
The public statement of a completed spiritual reality. And the glorious purpose of all this, the spiritual death and burial with Christ. What's the point?
Well, here's the amazing part. Just as Christ himself was raised from the dead by the incredible life-giving power of God the Father, the promise is that we too might walk in newness of life.
Walk in newness of life. Okay, let's break that down. Walk.
Yeah, walk here isn't just, taking a casual stroll. In this context, it refers to your habitual daily lifestyle, the consistent way you conduct yourself, your whole manner of living.
Our behavior patterns, our default mode.
Precisely. And the newness, it's not just like an improved version of the old self, version 2.0.
Okay.
It's described as a qualitative newness, something fundamentally fresh, unprecedented,
Yeah.
something divine and totally unique that's now at work within you.
It's like upgrading from, I don't know, a horse and buggy to a spaceship. It's a completely different category of existence.
That's a great analogy. Yeah, it's a totally different mode of operation. Newness of life really means a complete reorientation of your entire being. It means a new heart with fundamentally changed desires, not naturally gravitating towards self anymore, but towards God.
Okay.
It means transformed thinking, renewing your mind to line up with divine truth. It means receiving the power to choose what's right, even when it's hard.
So it affects everything.
Everything. Your relationships, your priorities, your purpose, which become centered on God's glory, not your own achievements. This radical transformation means you simply cannot, by your very new nature, just continue in the old patterns of wrongdoing as if nothing significant has happened to you.
Because it's incompatible with the new operating system.
Exactly. If this new life, this spaceship engine is truly within you, what does that practically look like day to day? That's the crucial question. And the answer is the old ways just become increasingly wrong, incongruent with who you now are.
So for you listening, this really signals a profound shift. It's moving away from a life of constant striving to become something. You know, trying harder to be good, following rules to earn points.
Performance-based living.
Right. Moving away from that towards a liberating reality of living out who you already are in Christ. You have died to sin. So the instruction is don't let it boss you around anymore. You have been raised with Christ. So live in that incredible new reality as someone empowered by this divine life within.
Yeah, it's about accepting that new identity, really internalizing it, and letting that shape your choices, rather than trying to earn a status that's already been freely given.
But what about the struggle? Because everyone listening who believes this still struggles, right? We still mess up.
Absolutely. And that's crucial. While your identity has changed forever and sin's dominion, its legal authority is broken, the battle against temptation, against old habits, that's still very real day to day. This isn't about suddenly becoming sinless overnight. That's not promised. Instead, it's about constantly remembering your true identity, actively counting yourself, considering yourself as truly dead to sin and alive to God.
Counting yourself, like reckoning with the facts.
Exactly. Think of it like this. You've legally moved out of that old, terrible apartment. You ended the lease. You don't live there anymore.
Right.
But maybe sometimes, just out of old habit, you might find yourself instinctively driving the old route home after work.
Yeah, autopilot kicks in.
Right. The legal power of the old landlord over you is totally broken. But that old muscle memory, that pattern, it can linger. When that happens, when you stumble, it's about recognizing, oops, wrong turn. That's the old address. It's about confessing that quickly, acknowledging the misstep.
And consciously turning the wheel.
Yes. Consciously turning towards your new home, your new reality in Christ. It's about drawing on the very same divine power that raised Christ from the dead, which is now living in you, to live out your true identity.
So you're not defined by the wrong turn.
You are not defined by the misstep. You're defined by who you are in Christ, someone who has been fundamentally changed.
This really drives home that transformation isn't just like an optional extra that comes with salvation.
No, it's presented as being right at the very heart of it.
Yeah. The good news isn't just about forgiveness for past stuff, as amazing as that is. It's about a complete recreation, a fundamental remaking, destroying the power of wrongdoing over us, and actively bringing forth this brand new divine life.
Made from the inside out. A spiritual rebirth, really. And if we place this in the even wider context, this radical transformation happening now, the spiritual resurrection we experience, it's actually a powerful preview. It's like a down payment on the future ultimate resurrection.
Ah, okay. A foretaste.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The new life we experience and walk in today, however imperfectly, is a tangible glimpse of the perfected, glorified reality that's promised. Which raises another important question for us, doesn't it? How does this present reality of new life not only give us future hope, but also powerfully shape how we should expect to live right now, today?
It's that already but not yet tension.
Precisely. We already possess this new life, but we're not yet fully perfected in it. We live in that space.
Okay, as we bring this deep dive toward a close, I'm just really struck again by how radical this whole picture of spiritual conversion is. It's not just tweaking your old self. It's presented as a complete overhaul, a death and a resurrection. And it creates this genuine, deep transformation that makes just continuing in a life defined by the old ways,
Yeah.
while fundamentally incompatible with who you now are.
You simply can't logically or spiritually maintain the old patterns once you've been genuinely made new in Christ.
Yeah.
The two are at odds.
Right.
And thinking about the implications, it means living this new life isn't primarily about willpower, is it? Just gritting your teeth and trying harder on your own steam.
No, seems like the opposite.
It's about drawing on this incredible divine power that's already at work within you, which challenges two big misconceptions, really.
Hmm.
One, the idea of grace as just a license to do whatever.
Right, the one we started with.
And two, the equally wrong idea that our good behavior somehow earns God's favor.
Yeah, works-based thinking.
Instead, it's this liberating grace that genuinely changes people from the inside out, empowering them to live a truly new kind of life that reflects their new reality.
So what does this all mean for you, listening right now?
Well, the question isn't really whether you can continue in sin so that grace may abound. The deeper question, if you are truly united with Christ in his death and resurrection, if that radical transaction has actually taken place in you, the real question is, how can you possibly continue to live in it as your defining reality?
And the powerful, liberating answer presented here is, you simply cannot. Not in your core being.
And that's not meant as a restriction on your freedom. It is the freedom.
Yes, the most glorious freedom imaginable, the freedom of a life truly made new, lined up with your deepest, God-given identity.
So remember that image. You were buried with him through baptism into death, in order that, just as Christ was raised from the dead by the glory of the Father, you too might walk in newness of life. It's not just a nice thought. It's presented as a reality to step into and live out.
The radical truth is, in this transformative experience, new life isn't just a future hope.
It's an undeniable present inevitability for those who are truly united with Christ. It begins now.